give local islanders a break on stamp duty. It would galvanise the stamp duty holiday for 12, 18 months. It will galvanise the industry and the market until the base rate settles and everyone's new affordability parameters are set.
Welcome to Housing Crisis Averted, a special mini-series from Bailiwick Podcasts. Next week, Housing Minister Sam Mezek will face a panel of property professionals, housing providers and a political rival in a question time style event hosted by All Island Media. Together, they'll be asking, is Jersey still in the grip of a housing crisis? And what needs to happen to fix it? I'm Fiona Potigny, editor of Bailiwick Express, and I'll be chairing the live panel discussion at the Pom Door next Wednesday. In the lead-up, I've been speaking to each of our contributors about what they believe is working, what isn't, and what urgently needs to change. In this episode, I'm joined by Broadlands Estate Agents Director Harry Trower. I put 5 questions to him, starting with this. Do you think the housing crisis is the right way to describe the island's current housing situation, and if not, why?
Well, you have to define crisis, because if it's a crisis of lack of stock, then no. There's been more properties on the market now than there has been in a very, very long time. If you define crisis as the fact that people are struggling to afford to buy a house, then yes, there is a bit of a crisis, but that is in the process of currently righting itself. We're seeing it in real time.
So from your perspective on the ground, what's the key area of the housing policy conversation that demands the most immediate attention? Is it supply, affordability, regulation, or something else?
Affordability to a point. Affordability is an interesting conversation to have, because when it comes to 5 times your salary, things like that, then yes, I mean the First Step scheme from Andium, very helpful. Getting on the assisted purchase programme, very helpful. I'd never ever sort of begrudge any of that helps people, and the accessibility to getting onto those schemes is very easy. It's just not shouted about as much as people think. What I am seeing is that while people can afford the mortgage of, say, a house at 1.2 million pound, which is your standard next step after your 3-bedroom terrace, the fees are killing them. Stamp duty, moving costs, lawyers' fees, agency fees, everything. If you're buying at 1.25, you could be between 30 and 50 grand down of actual equity, money that you have before you've even walked through the door. Then you've got your mortgage repayments, you've lost a lot of capital, the market isn't rising at the moment, therefore there's a conversation to be had of, will that house be worth what you paid for it in a year's time? There's a lot of nuance in that. So if I was going to say anything, give people a break on the stamp duty. If they're moving up a chain, if they're downsizing, doesn't matter where, just give locals a break, not the people who get the stamp duty relief under 750 grand, but the people who are moving up and paying a lot of their hard-earned equity, which could go into their mortgage, which could drive the market.
Just dwelling on stamp duty for a moment, at the start of 2023, the government introduced a 3% rise in stamp duty payable on the purchase of homes that were not going to be the buyer's primary residence. To what extent has this change shaped buyer behaviour? Has it helped or hindered the market, in your view?
That has been a car crash. They're not changing their minds. There's no point continuing the conversation until there's a new housing minister.
Wow, strong words there. Look forward to hearing the minister's response to that next week. On a completely different note, over the years there's been a lot of scrutiny of the high value residency scheme. Do you think it's sufficiently understood by politicians and policymakers, or is it misrepresented in public discourse?
So the loudest voice in the room criticising the high value residence is now the housing minister. He's now stopped criticising the high value residency scheme. It is of a huge benefit to the island, and we're talking 20 odd individuals who come in with their business, with their family, paying staggering amounts of stamp duty. Most of these guys are buying over £5 million, so the stamp duty is very, very high. What they bring against whatever detriment people think they bring is the cost benefit is just surpassing what else anyone says. It's definitely quietened down a lot on the politician side with the high value residency. People moving over, there seems to be less stress on their side because it seems to be nice and everyone seems to be on the same page now. I think it is a benefit to the island. For context, there are other jurisdictions which are far, far, far easier to get into. Jersey is very hard to get into, and they're very strict about who they let in. So the quality of the person moving over is beneficial to the island. They've got a lot of hoops to jump through, and those that do commit to those hoops do provide sort of benefit to the island.
And finally, if you can make one housing policy change today, what would it be?
Give local islanders a break on stamp duty. It will galvanise the stamp duty holiday for 12, 18 months. It will galvanise the industry and the market until the base rate settles and everyone's new affordability parameters are set. Until then, just give everyone a break. It's expensive.
Harry Trower, thank you very much. Thanks for listening to this episode in our special housing series. If you'd like to hear more and put your own questions to the panel, join us live at the Palm d'Or Hotel at 5 p.m. on Wednesday 23rd of April for Housing Crisis Averted. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite, and AIM Plus subscribers can attend for free. We'd love to see you there.